The Zarnathi Empire ruled the stars with iron power. For over 1,000 years, their flag flew over every system they touched. Planets bent the knee. Species surrendered before the first shot. Their technology was unmatched, their fleets massive, and their rule absolute. No one dared to question them. No one for centuries had even tried. And in all their records, in all their long memory, one name was spoken only once, and then erased. Earth. The Zarnathi believed Earth was destroyed long ago. During the Great Purge, they had attacked the Sol system with 5 fleets. The reports claimed Earth had burned. The human colonies were silent afterward. And so Earth was marked as dead, a failed world, a forgotten species. No further thought was given. After all, what could one world do in a galaxy of trillions? High Lord Serax stood at the center of the Empire's command tower, staring at a glowing map of the galaxy. Red lines showed their reach, endless, unbroken. His eyes were calm, bored even. "Any threats?" he asked the room. His voice was smooth, confident. Around him, aides and officers tapped screens and read reports. "Nothing of note." One replied, "Minor pirate activity near the Outer Rim, a mining protest on Calrix, easily handled." Serax nodded. "Good. The galaxy sleeps peacefully under our rule." But just as he turned to leave, another voice spoke, this one shaky. "Sir, there's something else." He turned back slowly. The aide looked nervous, eyes wide. "We received a report from the Outer Rim Patrol. One of our scout drones scanned a vessel entering the Shatterfield sector." "Shatterfield?" Serax frowned. "That's a dead zone. Only black holes and radiation fields." "Yes, sir. But the drone caught a clear signal. A ship, small in size, but strange. Strange how?" The aide hesitated. "The energy? Signature doesn't match any known design. It was massive, and then it vanished, disappeared from every scan." The room fell quiet. Another officer scoffed. "A glitch. The Shatterfield distorts sensors." The aide shook his head. "Maybe, but there's more. The ship sent a burst transmission. One word. Sol." Now even Serax stopped moving. He stared at the aide. "Repeat that." The signal said, "Sol, sir," for the first time. In years, silence filled the chamber. "Impossible," someone whispered. "Sol was destroyed." Serax narrowed his eyes. "Have the drone's logs confirmed. I want a deep scan of the entire Shatterfield. If anything moves in there, I want to know." The aide nodded and rushed out. Later that day, the Empire's Grand Council met. 11 leaders from different sectors sat around a black table. Serax stood before them, explaining the strange signal, the disappearing ship, the word Sol. Most laughed. "This is nonsense," barked Lord Vecren of the Eastern Reach. "A ghost story." "Some rogue faction playing games," added Lady Neela of the Outer Colonies. But one old counselor didn't laugh. He was quiet the whole time, then finally spoke. "You should not take this lightly." The others turned. "Explain yourself," Serax demanded. The old man looked tired. His voice was soft. "Before the Purge, I served in the First Fleet. I saw the human defenses, their spirit. Even at the end, they fought us. Not like others. They fought with everything. And when they lost, they didn't scream. They didn't beg. They vanished. They were destroyed," someone said. "No," the old man whispered. "They chose silence. That's not the same." The room fell quiet again. "Are you suggesting Earth survived?" Serax asked. "I'm saying, if this signal is real, we may have forgotten something we should have remembered." The council laughed again, but this time, the laughter sounded forced. Meanwhile, far beyond their reach, in a dark corner of the galaxy, a ship drifted silently. Its surface was black like the void, blending into space. It was small, barely, the size of a frigate. but its core glowed faintly with energy that bent reality itself. Inside the ship, there were no crew. No human hands piloted it. The ship was alive, guided by a system older than any living memory. It had one mission, one destination: Earth. The planet had changed. Its cities were hidden, built deep underground or inside mountains. Its sky was silent, its orbit empty. To the galaxy, Earth was dead. But inside, it was alive with power, planning, and silence. The ship was a scout, but not for recon. It was a message, a signal, a test, and it had found what it needed. It turned now, its course. Clear. Destination: Zarnathi space. Back at the command tower, a new report arrived. The Shatterfield had gone dark, every drone, every satellite, gone, and in place of static, one message played on repeat: "We remember." Serac stared at the message, his mouth tight. He didn't speak. He simply turned and gave one order: "Prepare the Armada." The order to prepare the Armada echoed through the vast halls of the Empire's command center. Ships that had once only been used to patrol and intimidate were now ready for war. The Zarnathi were proud and confident. They had crushed every enemy before. Why would this be different? High Lord Serax paced slowly, watching the stars on the giant holomap. The message, "We remember," burned like a warning in his mind. It was clear: Earth was no longer silent, and this time, they had returned with power. Across the galaxy, fleets stirred. Thousands of warships prepared for departure. Engineers checked weapon systems, crews ran drills, and commanders mapped out battle plans. The Armada would be the largest force the Empire had ever sent beyond their borders. Its goal was simple: to destroy this reborn human threat before it could grow. Serax met with his top commanders in a sleek war room filled with screens and star charts. "Our scouts tell us the human ship remains cloaked, moving through the Shatterfield," he said. "We cannot wait for them to strike first. We will find them and crush them." One officer, Captain Valar, frowned. "But sir, we know very little about their technology. If they can disappear from our sensors once, they might do it again." Serax's eyes narrowed. "Then we will use every weapon, every sensor, and every trick we have. We will not be caught off guard." Meanwhile, on the edge of known space, the human warship moved silently. It was like a shadow slipping through the stars. Sensors on Zarnathi ships failed to detect it. When probes searched for it, their signals returned, scrambled, or erased. The ship's commander, a human named Captain Rena Hale, stared at her control panel. Her voice was calm, steady. "We have to remind them why they feared us once," she said softly. The ship's AI, known simply as Solace, responded in a smooth tone. "Stealth systems active. Next target locked. Ready to proceed on your order." Hale nodded. The mission was clear. Send a warning. Show the Empire that humans were back, not to conquer, but to survive. Back in the Empire, news arrived that a small Zarnathi scout ship had vanished without trace near the Shatterfield. Panic spread quickly. No ship had ever disappeared like this before. Serax clenched his fists. "They are testing us." The Armada moved closer to the Shatterfield. Their fleet commander, Admiral Creel, was a veteran of many battles. His face was scarred from past fights. He looked at the fleet through the bridge window, lights reflecting in his cold eyes. "They think Earth is weak," he said. "They think this will be an easy fight." Serax's voice came over the comms. "Make no mistake. This fight will decide the future of the Empire. We will crush them before they can speak again." But even as the fleets moved forward, strange things happened. Drones sent to scout the human warship found nothing but empty space. Communication channels twisted with strange interference. Systems malfunctioned without reason. On the human ship, Hale watched all this with a quiet satisfaction. They still do not understand, she said. We are not just fighting with weapons, we are fighting with mind and spirit. Suddenly, a warning flashed. The Armada's sensors detected a pulse, a wave of energy unlike anything seen before. It passed through their ships, disabling shields and engines for moments. Ships drifted helplessly in space. Admiral Creel shouted orders to stabilize the fleet. What is this witchcraft? Back on Earth, underground command centers hummed with life. Scientists and engineers worked side by side with soldiers and pilots. They monitored the battle and sent support to the warship. Captain Hale, a voice came over the secure line. Our systems show the pulse is coming from your ship. Is this your weapon? Hale smiled faintly. It's a warning, a reminder that the game has changed. The Armada recovered slowly, but the damage was done. Fear had entered the hearts of the Zarnathi. Serac stared at the flickering screens. His empire was strong, but this was not the same enemy they had fought before. He clenched his jaw. Prepare all forces. We will bring the full weight of the Empire to this fight. We will not lose. But deep inside, a question haunted him. What if Earth was no longer the weak world they remembered? What if the humans had grown beyond anything the galaxy had ever seen? The silence of space was broken only by the whisper of one message, carried by a small ship in the darkness. We are here, and the war was only beginning. The Zarnathi fleet's retreat was chaotic and desperate. Ships limped through space, damaged and exhausted. The humans pressed their advantage, striking swiftly at stragglers and weak points. Captain Hale's warship led the charge, a symbol of Earth's fierce new spirit. Each victory sent a wave of hope back to the hidden command centers on Earth. Inside the Empire's warships, fear grew. Soldiers whispered about the humans' strange weapons and their ability to vanish and strike without warning. Many had never faced an enemy like this. Captain Valar, once proud and confident, now doubted everything. How can we fight something we cannot see? Something that knows our every move? High Lord Serac refused to accept defeat. He summoned his greatest strategists and scientists. Find a way to stop them. Find their weakness, he commanded. Our empire depends on it. Meanwhile, Earth's command centers worked tirelessly. They studied every signal, every battle pattern. They knew the humans had an advantage, a mix of advanced technology and fierce willpower born from centuries of struggle and survival. The humans fought not just for conquest, but for the future of their home. Captain Hale prepared for the next phase of the battle. We've shown them we are not weak. Now it's time to end this war. The warship moved silently toward the heart of the Zarnathi fleet, ready to deliver a final decisive blow, but the Empire was not done yet. From the shadows of deep space, a new force began to move, reinforcements more powerful than anything seen before. The war was far from over. The galaxy held its breath, waiting to see who would survive this clash of titans. In the silence before the next storm, one thing was certain. Humanity had changed the rules forever. The new Zarnathi reinforcements arrived like a tidal wave, dark and unstoppable. Massive warships emerged from hidden wormholes, their weapons glowing with deadly energy. The Armada, though battered and broken, found new strength. High Lord Serac stood tall, his voice full of authority. This is our final stand. We will show these humans the true power of the Empire. But Captain Hale was ready. Her warship, small but deadly, led a human strike force that darted through the chaos. The humans used speed and cunning to avoid the massive Zarnathi vessels. Each attack was quick and precise, hitting weak spots and disappearing before the Empire could respond. The battle grew fiercer with every passing moment. Explosions lit up the darkness of space as ships clashed in fiery duels. The humans fought, with heart and skill, refusing to back down. Their technology confused and overwhelmed the Empire's sensors and shields. In the heart of the fight, Hale's ship faced a powerful Zarnathi dreadnought. The massive ship fired a barrage of plasma beams, but Hale's warship twisted and turned, dodging with impossible agility. Then, with a sudden burst of energy, she struck back. Her weapon pierced the dreadnought's hull, causing a catastrophic chain reaction. The dreadnought exploded in a brilliant flash, sending shockwaves through the enemy fleet. The Zarnathi faltered. Their fear grew. High Lord Serax realized the battle was slipping away. "We must retreat," he ordered. The great armada began to pull back, battered and broken. Captain Hale watched the retreat with quiet satisfaction. "This is only the beginning," she said. "They thought they were untouchable. Now they know we are mortal, and we will fight to survive." The stars grew silent once more, but the war was far from over. The galaxy had witnessed a new era. Humanity had returned, and they were ready to claim their place among the stars. The aftermath of the battle left the Zarnathi Empire shaken to its core. Their mighty armada, once thought invincible, had been broken and forced into retreat. On. Their warships, commanders whispered fears they had never known before. The humans were no longer weak or backward. They were a force to be reckoned with. On Earth, Captain Hale and her crew returned to cheers and celebrations. But Hale knew this victory was just the first step. The Empire would not give up so easily. They would rebuild, regroup, and come back stronger. Humanity had to be ready. Deep within the Zarnathi command halls, High Lord Serax faced harsh criticism. His pride was wounded, but his determination burned brighter than ever. The Empire would adapt. They would learn from this defeat and strike back with new weapons and strategies. But the humans had changed too. They had awakened something inside themselves, a fierce will to survive and protect their home. This was no longer just a war for survival. It was a fight for respect, freedom, and the right to exist. The galaxy watched and waited, knowing one thing for certain: the untouchable Empire was now mortal. And humanity had returned to the stars, ready to shape the future in their own image. The war was far from over, but a new chapter had begun. A chapter where humans would no longer be underestimated or forgotten. The stars belonged to them as much as anyone else, and they were just getting started.